Jess Leo, what is art?
Oh, what is art? Yeah, it's so funny. I've actually had students ask me this. It always feels like it puts me on the spot because if it's wrong, then they'll leave the conversation and sort of never come back to me. But I guess what I can narrow it down from what I understand it to be, or maybe what it like functions for me and like my cohort or colleagues, is that like it's always been a way to sort of understand kind of the world, and at the beginning of quote unquote art, it served as sort of a model of our existence, whether that be a handprint, whether that be creating icons and symbols so that people that couldn't read could visually take part in the act of understanding how they needed to present themselves to the world. Then later, space and light comes into it. So then it's not just an understanding of ourselves, but nature and the world, and then how we exist in that world. And I think now, like as a 21st century artist, it has deeply become rooted in sort of the self, right? Maybe more than like an archive of, you know, yeah, I think art is like sort of like an archive of our struggles in understanding ourselves and the world around us. Like that's all it is. Like if there was no art historian to define what is art, then what would those objects be? They would be artifacts in, I mean, even like when you go to the Met and you go and you see like the way people fashion bowls and knives, like to me, that is all art. That's
Mm.
not separate from a painting made in the 1960s, I mean, that was a usable object, but in its own way, somebody made that with their hands with intention. Their hand was in it, and then they used it, right? And I guess that goes back. We had to read this in graduate school, so maybe it's something that you can talk on too. But Lewis Hyde, when he's talking about the gift, and I
Who?
always thought
Sorry?
that Lewis Hyde,
Uh huh.
and so he wrote the book The Gift, and I thought that was a really interesting presentation of like what art can be, or what it sort of was, is that it wasn't something for us to just have like as a singular person. Like in my studio, I'm holding all my artifacts, all the things I've made, and I'm sort of storing them. But really, the act of transmission, of me giving you the piece of art so that you can enjoy it or use it, and then when you're done with it, you hand it over to somebody else, right? And that's sort of the extension then of language, of an understanding, of being able to read and to learn. So I think I like to think about art then in those contexts. Like it is a way to, yes, I think as an art maker to understand yourself, but for the world, maybe how things function, to see the hand in it. And maybe that's why I just love fine art a little bit more than perhaps digital art. Like it's illustrative and I like will move toward digital art, but yeah, the act of the hand in it, to me, makes it